Welcome everybody. My name is Todd Williams and I'm a senior solution engineer here with Amplix. And today I want to go over and show you Genesys new navigation user interface. Let me go ahead and share my screen. And as you can see, I'm showing you the new interface. And the first thing you're going to see is I'm in my activity page. The two ways that you're going to come into Genesys based on what your licensing and what your permissions are is you're either going to have access to when you log into the activities page, or you might have access to your profile. The profile window will look like this. I did a screenshot. It's a little bit more clean. It's a different interface, but that's for users that don't have all the features around workforce engagement management. Switching back over to the demonstration here, as you log in, I'm going to have a much cleaner and open space with this new navigation. What they've done is opened up the whole space from the left to the right screen. They've taken a lot of the menu controls that were on the left and across the top and kind of pushed them out. The menus on the left have been condensed into a menu structure on the left that you can access or reduce and get it out of the way. On the right-hand side, they've also condensed all the user interface access that the agent or the user would be using periodically throughout the day. They've accessed your workspace windows up above menus for windows that you're going to pop up and use very often. Starting off, you're going to have access to your status on the far right versus on the left. It was previously on the left. This moves all the status and access to these controls all into one area, which is condensed on the right-hand side of the screen. Here I can change my statuses. And also I'm going to point out one of the key things that changed was the documents access. So your documents is now changed to called My Files. So now there's a new button at the bottom here, accessible through your profile picture. That's going to get you access to your personal documents and your shared documents across your organization. You also have the same on queue slider where you can be on or off queue to access from a contact center perspective. And then you're going to have your workspace button, your inbox, your apps, and then chat, calls, and help. From a chat perspective or calls, these are just going to open up quick windows within there, or a quick widget. So you have access to those calls that you need to make, or your call history or your voicemails. And from a chat perspective, you have access to that collaboration within Genesys. Same features are there. Nothing has changed. It's just where you're accessing those features. Again, your inbox. We got you access to your voice messages, as well as maybe your evaluations, or maybe faxes, etc. One of the other key things that has changed is finding internally users within your organization. They've moved that over into the menu area, and you're going to have access to that going down to the user management, and you're going to have access to what we call the user directory. So very easy to go there, and if you have to do any searches for a user or do any faceted searching by their title or maybe some skills that they have, that's still there. Again, it's just a different way of accessing it, and it's going to be in the menu, user, and then user directory. Back to the main menu, back to my activity page. Some of the other key things that have changed is help. Help is up here on the very top in the middle. Very easy to click on that button. It's going to have the same features and functionality. It's just where you're accessing that help button. It's going to still show you immediately help information related to what page you're currently on. It'll give you that quick overview based on where you are within the platform, as well as access to your release notes, maybe resources, or even do a search. So same functionality as you had before. It's just accessing it is a little bit different. As you can see here, if there's things that are going on, like this agent workspace button is lit up with green. It also has a 1 on it. So that basically says that there is an interaction that I'm connected to. I'm going to go ahead and minimize my menu window here, give me my full window here. By pushing on that agent workspace button, immediately I opens up that agent workspace that you're very familiar with and used to. Within here, you have the same features and functionality where you can rack and stack multiple interactions. You have your call controls at the top. You have the ability to add the different profile pages in here, or not profile pages, but the different panels of information. It could be profile, it could be your co-pilot, it could be maybe notes. Again, very easy to set and add those additional panels into this conversation. It also is very easy to expand out the main scripting window. So very easy to pull full focus and see that information in front of you. Other things that you have access to is, again, as I click that button, it's, again, easy to switch between either your main activities page or maybe some other window that you've got open, maybe reporting or analytics. Very easy to go into the menu button on the left, go down here to analytics, and you're going to have access to your analytics workspace. So these are just common things that you would be using either as a user or a supervisor and have access to these features. As I'm sitting here looking at reports, maybe I'm looking at the analytics, I can switch back to my agent workspace. I'm working with that or helping that conversation or having that conversation with that customer. And again, by clicking that window, it's going to go back and where I was previously, whether it was looking at reports or maybe I'm looking at some other window within the platform. They've also condensed and put in from a workspace perspective underneath your activity is workspace for not just a workspace for your agent, but also maybe parked conversations or work automation, which is a task list. So again, condensing the access and easy access to those windows so that you have easy navigation to them as necessary as an agent. The biggest change with the new navigation is around administration. So as you can see here, there is no going into an administration button. Administration is accessed through the menu here. They've grouped and put the administration configuration pieces in different areas within the platform. So that's going to be the biggest change, like user management. We went over the user directory, but here is also where you can have access to if you have administration permissions to set up those users, set up those roles, set up those queues. They've also done like orchestration. They've added this new area called orchestration, which is where you're going to access your architect. Orchestration assets. Right here is where you're going to have access to your data tables, etc. Down below, AI Studio is Copilot. So here's where you're going to have access to your agent Copilot information. So a lot of changes as far as where to access those administration configuration areas. And the one thing that they've done to really slim or improve or help you, not just a help area, but they added this more robust search function up at the top. This search function will allow you to go to a specific area of configuration. So maybe you want to set up a new phone. Very easy to start typing in phone, and as you're typing, it's going to show you different areas in the selection. And if I'm trying to manage and set up phone management, as I type that in, it's going to give me that search area to go into that container, and I can quickly start setting up a new phone or a new base setting. So one of the key things to make it easier for navigation is to provide a very robust search, which is included with this new user navigation. The nicest thing about the interface is it's just very clean and very open. And like I said before, it just provides that access as necessary to the features that you need. And again, you're only going to have on the left-hand side here access to what you have permissions to. So if you're a user, I'm just going to switch tab over here and show an example. If you're a user that doesn't have access to a lot of features, so a very basic user, you're only going to have access to a few menu options on that left. So this is just a representation of how It will be very clean and only provide access to the features that you as a user have permissions to access based on what your role is within Genesys Cloud. As you can see, it's a very clean, modern-looking interface that has a lot of pieces here. Another thing I wanted to call out is applications. So if you have any custom client applications, or maybe a widget application that you have set up in your environment, there's two spots for that. One is going to be here when I go into the menu. It's going to be down here under the apps, and this is going to present to you any of those custom client applications that you might have installed within your organization. If there's any widget apps, and a widget app is going to basically, when I'm in that conversation, it's going to appear over here as a widget that I have access as I'm in a conversation. Those will be accessible here at the very top. So there is two spots for apps, and they're the different types of apps. Is it a widget app or is it a client app? Trying to think and just want to make sure that I covered all the items I wanted to make sure you have access to. We covered the user directory. I'll also cover the user contacts. So again, you do have the ability within Genesys to search for contacts. Within the menu, if you come down here under user management, you've got your user directory that we've already covered. But up here at the very top is where you're going to access your external contacts. Very easy to go into that and do a search for a contact that you've set up within the organization to use for calling them back. So two different locations. You got your user directory, and then you have your external contacts. I hope this overview has helped you to kind of get more familiar with the new Genesys user interface. I hope it helps you, or maybe uncovers things that you may not have known where to access them. And more importantly, if there's additional questions, you can easily reach out to your Amplix manager, and we'll be sure to set up a call or conversation and assist you as necessary. Thank you, and appreciate your time today.